I'm very relieved you brought more because I was really worried that I had, really messed this up. You have a really interesting story. You had this food truck. You spent some time living abroad where you had this love of street food. You wanted to bring this back to the U.S. How did you end up with a product line that looked like this?
So it started back in the late 90s in China. Study abroad with my co-founder in Beijing. Ate these amazing street foods. In particular, jianbing. It's like a savory Chinese crepe that we would have for like breakfast every day before school. And then one day we decided to bring that, to Hong Kong and then to the US. And the sauces in there is what our platform is now. So we had a whole restaurant, kiosk, food truck life in Hong Kong and then in New York for almost 10 years, where the brand really built itself up as a street food forward, pan-Asian street food brand. The sauces basically... We were doing pop-ups inside a lot of the corporate office cafeterias in New York pre-pandemic, partnering with Compass, Aramark, and Sodexo. And the chefs noticed that we had this chili crisp that we had created. Chili crisp has existed for a long time, right? Lao Gama in China. Basically, we wanted to make a version a little more accessible for the American market and the right particulate size to spread in the food, a mild version of it, a little bit of a different flavor profile, a little more versatile with Mexican, Korean, Chinese flavors to make chili crisp more adaptable to so many other cuisines. The chefs at those places, like at Goldman Sachs and at Morgan Stanley and at Google, LinkedIn, where we were doing all these Bing pop-ups, loved it and asked us to put it in a big size that they could use in other foods.
So I'm holding there's a big size here. This is, I don't think they have the actual, 64 ounce version of this.
That is a big size.
Which a typical is 7 ounce. So yeah,
correct.
that's a big.
So for their use in their kitchens.
Yes, they wanted to use it like to mix with ranch, to mix with mayo, to make what they call plus ones or sauce hacks, where you can use it straight up, like on eggs, rice, pizza, pasta, burgers. It was a big trend. I mean, it trended a lot during the pandemic, right? It's become much more mainstream now when it was much more niche before.
Well, it's interesting because I see it everywhere now, just chili crisp. There are a lot of different companies make it. And it was first on my radar, like, I guess maybe 2 years ago. My wife bought it at the store, brought it home. And now it's like, chili crisp is a condiment that we always have in the home. And there are a lot of different versions of it. I mean, Momofuku does a version. There's like some classic versions as well from other companies. It's a really crowded space at this point.
Well, chili crisp definitely saw like a massive growth during the pandemic. It's grown over 700% on menus nationwide in terms of the mention of chili crisp,
right?
Which is sort of our real strong forte is on the food service side as well. We're basically the leading brand in the country in food service chili crisp. If you go to a restaurant, hotel, college, stadium, airline, if they're using chili crisp,
they're using your stuff.
That's so interesting.
Most likely it's ours, not necessarily.
Is that like 70 or 80% of your business, or what's
chili crisp? Chili crisp itself is about 85%, but within our overall business, almost 50% of our revenues is food service.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
So our products are very chef driven. I mean, like it was kind of created by the kiosks, right?
Right.
And then the chefs that started buying it in big size wanted it a certain way, and we really had that dialogue with a lot of chefs about creating it, how to create it, and then that's what led to the barbecue sauces, a more squeezable sort of format of a chili crisp, right? So we've been very involved with the chef community around the country. We've been very fortunate to have that opportunity. And there's a flywheel effect between being on restaurant menus and then how your sales are like in the stores and also the e-commerce piece. Like all three of these things, impact each other.
Where's the growth? I get it. Like you're in a restaurant, you do it and then you want it for home. Where's the growth in terms of your businesses? Is it to the restaurants or the business side of it, the corporate side, if you will, or is it in retail outlets? Like, where's the growth?
It's all really across the board.
It is.
All of it. You know, I think we've been very fortunate to have the opportunity, the relationships, and the distribution. Frankly, getting distribution is really hard. You really need like anchor customers, anchor clients, anchor restaurant chains, anchor retail. Once you have that, then you can really go out and sell to everyone else. But the growth right now is in our squeezables. Like chili crisp is awesome. Don't get me wrong. People love it, but you gotta stir it up, spoon it out, scoop it out. It's a little bit, you take that extra step. You get a little oil on the counter, which is fine. It's just the nature of it, right? Because of the texture and how the particulates are. But a lot of people just like to reach for something and squeeze it and squirt and put it back, right? And that's what these are. This takes chili crisp. There are about 10% chili crisp bits in them. So it's a line of Asian barbecue sauces, chili crisp barbecue sauces. They're the first ones on the market that are a chili crisp based barbecue sauce, right? And that was developed because chefs wanted to squeeze the chili crisp. They wanted to be able to apply it to pizza or to wings more easily. You needed something sticky, like a binder, right? And that, like Topper's Pizza in Wisconsin was the first one that really did that with us. And that led to the OG sweet and spicy. And then that worked so well in a large format that we decided to go a little more pan-Asian. And that led to the Thai, the Thai hot honey, which has more like lemongrass and kaffir lime leaf in it. We have a Korean gochujang forward one that has more yuzu and ginger. And we have a mild. So don't forget, like our mild chili crisp is actually more than half our sales of chili crisp because almost half of Americans don't like spicy food. So
I'm a mild kind of gal. The
There you
rest
go.
of my family is
Okay, so I'll
bring on
take the spicy
spice.
when you take
Yep.
them out. The things you just held up, those
Yes.
small dishes, what are those?
These are samples.
Oh,
these are
okay.
just, we call them hockey pucks.
Yeah.
Basically, these little baby guys.
TSA compliant?
They are TSA
Okay.
compliant. They are. And I'm sort of infamous for always having them in my
So now
pockets.
I know what he's going to be traveling with.
Yes, exactly. So basically, I mean, food service is so relationship driven. And chili crisp, to your point, like a lot of people don't know what it is. You have to taste it to kind of understand what it really is if you've never had it.
I've never had it.
Oh, it's
Okay,
so
so
good.
this is
I'm
going to
sorry
be
I
an
didn't share any
experience.
with you, though, when I was
No,
on my
you're
desk.
you're
It lasted
you're
about 3 weeks.
absolutely not sorry.
But honestly, I have a real question about the serving sizes.
Yep.
Because these little jars are supposed to have 40 servings. That is like not typical for me in terms of serving. But in all seriousness, it's a teaspoon of this as a serving size. That seems like a small amount to include on.
How much do you take, Tim? How much?
A few teaspoons
Be
each
honest.
time. Yeah, quite a bit though. But I mean, I think that's it's kind of regardless. I don't know. It just seems like I'm sorry. It just seems like a small serving size. I don't know. Do you find that chefs?
You have a big appetite.
I do,
I'm
but
just
do
gonna
you find that
say.
chefs are actually adhering to like what is that actual suggested serving? I know that's just the nutrition information side of it, but is that meant to be like to flavor an entire piece of pizza or flavor like 3 eggs?
It's a good question. So like in food service and according to like food labeling rules, there is a standard serving size for different
okay.
types of things. Barbecue sauce is a particular standard serving size.
I guess that makes sense if you want to compare labels across the board.
Yes, exactly. And chili oil, because it's pretty potent or can be pretty potent, ours is not. It's kind of builds up. It doesn't overpower you. It's more about the texture, the flavor. But there is a standard serving size that you put on there for chili oil. Now, chefs will use as much as they want.
Okay.
Right? I mean, the Tyson chef was covering an entire turkey. It was a chili crisp turkey as a new concept.
That's cool.
Right.
That's really cool.
And so that totally blew away the portion size, right? So
Tim, did you hear Brian said standard size?
Yeah, standard. Yeah, that's okay.
Just going to put it out there. I'm just looking at, so you guys are in 10,000 retail doors nationwide?
Yes, over 10,000 on the chili crisp, over 2,500 on the barbecue sauces.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many thousands of restaurants, hotels, colleges, stadiums.
Does it sell in terms of the retail across the country equally, or do you find there's certain metro areas where that's where a lot of the demand is?
It does tend, it used to be very strong in the more international coastal cities, right? But it's really spread just because, TikTok and social media, people see these things all over the place right away. It doesn't really matter. But yes, we have had a stronger, a little bit higher numbers, I guess, East Coast and West Coast, Pacific Northwest where we manufacture it, California, obviously large Asian
It's all
population.
manufactured in the United States? Or?
It is. We make everything in the United States, which has been really great, especially to avoid, we haven't had the really tariff issue come up. It makes it a lot easier for us to work with our manufacturers to adjust things in terms of supply chain. But yeah, it is. We put made in USA in pretty big letters on there. So Asian inspired, but made in the USA.
McCormick bought Cholula hot sauce for $800 million back in 2020. Things have changed a lot in the last 6 years. You're an independent company now. What's the plan for acquisition or the future?
So we're very focused on our current products, growing them, getting them more into more chefs, more stores. We do work with some other big brands. We've been very fortunate through the food service industry in particular.
Right.
With Kikkoman, for example, we do a chili crisp hoisin sauce together, which is awesome. A little bit of ponzu, a little sriracha in there. And we sell that in food service together. with Hormel, we work with them with their proteins, like really complementary companies where they'll use it to ideate with the biggest restaurant chains in the country, right, on how to integrate our sauces with their products. And we'll see where things go, but right now, it's really focusing on growing the products, getting the new products
So
out
there's
there.
more expansion that can come off of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Like what?
Well, there's, when you talk about numbers in retail, there's roughly 30,000 supermarkets in the country that you kind of judge in terms of your percentage of penetration in retail.
Yeah.
We're just over 10,000, right? So we have definitely a ways to go, and in food service as well, and especially with the new products. So, we're at about a 12 million run rate right now. We're profitable, and there's a lot more growth to go.
So Brian, how much should Tim eat of this regularly?
I think that's personal
Like
preference.
1 teaspoon is a normal person?
Big chili crisp guy.
1 teaspoon?
That's a suggestion.
And should he share with his colleagues maybe?
He should. Come on, Tim.